In 2003, the lives of ZEONA Jacobs and ZAZA MOTHA changed forever when a female mentorship program was launched to give young girls a head start in the workplace.
I remember seeing an ad in the newspaper about an initiative that helped young girls to experience a day in a company with somebody in a powerful position. So the essay competition asked young girls to write in and explain why you wanted to be chosen to spend a day with a CEO or an MD of a company.
ZAZA submitted her essay and met the woman who would take on the role of mother, career advisor, and business executive.
When this idea was brought to me, I really saw the opportunity, because it's an American concept. I think it's important, from the Miss Foundation in America, and they called it Take Our Daughters to Work Day. But conceptually we changed in South Africa because we felt that if we brought just our daughters to work, girl children like ZAZA would not have the opportunity, because at that time her family didn't have access to the workplace.
According to Statistics South Africa, females under the age of 20 are outperforming their male peers at university who often drop out.
We have these pressing issues in terms of delivery of basic requirements for people to be able to have better living conditions. There does tend to be that focus on, let's focus on delivery now. But the reality is that underpinning that delivery is human capital. And so how do you develop that human capital is through mentorship and through, of course, formal education as well.
When I was 18, South Africa was a very different place. And it's quite interesting because I think we had very limited ambition because we didn't have exposure. But I think that girl children today, with what the country requires in terms of productive citizens, there's just so much opportunity for them to dream so much bigger. And this initiative has really allowed girl children to dream big.
Yeah, it's very
Nonkululeko Kopoto, who heads up her own company, is one of those big dreamers. She tore through her education and became the first black woman chartered accountant in 1987.
It's so important for this generation to understand what the big issues are so that they don't start where we started. You know, when we started, we didn't have mentors. We were the pioneers. We were the first. I didn't have a black woman chartered accountant to look up to. So they have this advantage of having us, and they must make full advantage of it, because this journey of development is not an easy journey. You know, you can have your plans for your career, but going through that is a journey. And you need someone who has been there before, you know, so who can tell you there's a stone there, you know, step over it, don't bang yourself on it, kind of. And so for me, it's about preparing the next generation for leadership, especially in South Africa.
The South African government has been commended for its efforts towards gender equality, with more women currently representing over 53% of top government positions, including ministers, deputy ministers, and director generals.
President Thabo Mbeki was one of the greatest proponents of mentoring women in this country. I think during his term in office, we saw the most women in Parliament, we saw the most women in government, and I think that for me is a recognition that the development of women, not just in the public sector, but also in the private sector, is really important.
But while government has made huge strides, the private sector is lagging, with women constituting less than 10% of CEOs and chairs of boards of listed and state-owned companies. That's according to the Businesswomen's Association.
I think it's very important that we get as many people in society included in the workforce as possible.
As mothers and breadwinners, South African career women have a lot on their plate, but many argue that mentoring young talent is key to bridging the gender gap.
I think we must look a bit more broadly than that. I think it's about the way in which we create opportunities, it's the way in which we create role models, it's the way that we reach out, it's the way we interact with people, it's the way that we make ourselves available.